In today's breaking story, a book is drawing very strong reactions from Democrats. And no, it's not Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book with Donald Trump's DNA all over it. It's Kamala Harris's new memoir that is critical of Joe Biden, resulting in a Democratic House divided. I have the breakdown for you next. What you're about to see and hear came to my attention via a Daily Beast article with the headline, Harris launches stunning attack on Biden. Kamala Harris calls Biden's 2024 run reckless and says West Wing aides kneecapped her. And all roads on this breaking story led back to this article from The Atlantic with the headline, The Constant Battle. The first excerpt from 107 Days by Kamala Harris. And I'll share the most damning excerpts from the book in just a minute. But first, let's see the sensation it's causing with mainstream media.
Okay. The Atlantic has published an excerpt from former Vice President Kamala Harris's forthcoming new book. In it, Harris details the challenges she faced when Joe Biden dropped out of the race and she was suddenly tapped to run for president.
President Kamala Harris now says it was reckless to allow President Biden alone to make the decision to run for re-election. It's the first time Harris has ever suggested Biden should not have run again. In a new book, Harris is also criticizing President Biden's team for limiting her role as vice president and fueling negative stories about her. Chief Washington correspondent John Carl is here with the details. Hi, John. So this is a big turnaround for Harris. How far is she going with this criticism of President Biden and his staff?
It's an incredible turnaround for Kamala Harris. You have to consider that during the whole episode after the debate, when Democrats were struggling with the issue of whether to abandon Joe Biden, Kamala Harris never suggested once, publicly or I am told privately, that Biden should go, that he should abandon his efforts to run for re-election.
What do you think about these revelations?
I have to say, I did not have Kamala Harris taking the gloves off on my bingo card, but I respect that she wants to set the record straight for the history books. Listen, I give her tremendous credit for a few things that she did in that 107-day stretch. She raised over $1 billion. She locked up all of the Democratic delegates within 24 hours. She kept a rigorous schedule on the campaign trail. She did many things that I think no other politician could do in that time span. But I think in many ways she was set up to fail. And I'm not saying that this was some grand strategy against her, but it's a rule of thumb in White Houses that presidents and their teams are always looking out for the VP. They don't want them to take too much of the spotlight. They don't want them to do better than them. So what happened is oftentimes things she was doing didn't get credit. When negative things were said about her, there wasn't pushback for her. And she goes into great detail about this.
And now let's really get into it. What did Kamala Harris disclose in her book about her time under Joe Biden that has lit a fire under the Democrat Party?
She writes, during all those months of growing panic, should I have told Joe to consider not running? Perhaps. It's Joe and Jill's decision. We all said that, like a mantra, as if we'd all been hypnotized. Was it grace or was it recklessness? In retrospect, I think it was recklessness. The stakes were simply too high. This wasn't a choice that should have been left to an individual's ego, an individual's ambition. It should have been more than a personal decision. I was well aware of my delicate status. Lore has it that every outgoing chief of staff always tells the incoming president's chief of staff, rule number 1, watch the VP. I often learned that the president's staff was adding fuel to negative narratives that sprang up around me. When the stories were unfair or inaccurate, the president's inner circle seemed fine with it. Indeed, it seemed as if they decided I should be knocked down a little bit more. Their thinking was zero-sum. If she's shining, he's dimmed. None of them grasped that if I did well, he did well. That given the concerns about his age, my visible success as his vice president was vital. It would serve as a testament to his judgment in choosing me and reassurance that if something happened, the country was in good hands.
What Kamala Harris has set off here is more than just a family feud. It is a public airing of wounds that political parties usually try to patch behind closed doors. And that raises a tough but necessary question. Is the Democrat Party in such bad shape that it actually needs to be broken down before it can be rebuilt? I think yes. Big mistakes were made, and institutional silence no longer serves the party or the people. This kind of honesty is not just a Democrat reversal, it is a striking contrast to what we are seeing from Republicans. Under Trump's rule, we see that worship is demanded and dissent is forbidden. And you can be certain that after he's gone, many of them will race to publishers to spill the beans like the world has never seen before, believe me. They're simply waiting for their golden idol to fall so they can finally speak their truth. I'm Dan, thank you for watching, and now I want you to speak your truth with a comment below, and let's continue to occupy democracy together.